Time now for the morning rush. We'll start with Kristen Curry.
Good morning. Looking at a little bit of a high cloud cover out there today, but nothing in the way of widespread rain or snow. Tonight, we'll watch for the central mountains and the southeast to see any of those spot showers, but it's mainly going to be the temperature drop and the winds that get us this afternoon. Sarah?
New this morning, the state's attorney general's office says it's not happy with how UNM's internal investigation into its athletic department. They are now asking to meet with Interim President Chowki Abdallah in person to, quote, establish parameters for cooperation and participation in their review. In a letter obtained by KRQE, the AG's office brought up a number of, quote, troubling issues, including the university's use of public funds for an investigation that they say is now, quote, unreviewable by numerous oversight entities. Abdallah's response to the letter coming up in the 5 Facts. Adam?
Roswell police are actively searching for a missing elderly woman right now. Police are asking the public to be on the lookout for 80-year-old Leota Talbert, who wandered away from the Eastern New Mexico Medical Center. Talbert was last seen wearing a hospital gown. She could be driving a 2011 white Ford Fiesta with New Mexico plates 502 SBM. If you see her, you're asked to call police. The man arrested and accused of robbing an Albuquerque bank 4 months ago is expected to appear in district court this morning. It is his first appearance after being arrested over the weekend. He is charged with robbing the U.S. Bank on Eubank near Manal back in August. Another man is expected to face a judge this morning accused of taking police on a chaotic chase and then hiding in an apartment. That chase happened Saturday night when police tried to stop Jeremiah Snowden in a suspected stolen car. They say he took off, blowing through lights and stop signs, driving on the wrong side of the road, all with a police helicopter tracking his wild ride. Officers say he tried to hide in an apartment before being arrested. Also happening this morning, the trial set to begin for the man who police say violently stabbed another man on a city bus. That happened back in February. Gregory Dozier is still locked up at MDC this morning. Jury selection set to begin at 8:30 in district court. We will follow the very latest developments on air and on our website at krqe.com. Happening today, GOP lawmakers will likely be back to work to try to find common ground between the tax overhaul bills passed by both the House and the one by the Senate. The potential sticking points here could be last-minute changes made to the Senate bill in order to secure enough votes to pass it. The goal is to have a final copy on the president's desk by Christmas. Former TV personality Billy Bush is speaking out about that infamous Access Hollywood tape. In the tape that surfaced during the 2016 presidential campaign, you hear Bush and a person who allegedly is Trump talking in a bus, and then hear Trump brag about being able to grope women. Trump has already apologized for the tape, but Bush says he felt the need to write an op-ed article in the New York Times following reports that Trump has suggested the tape is not authentic. With Alabama's special Senate election a little over a week away now, a new CBS poll of likely voters has Republican Roy Moore ahead of Democratic nominee Doug Jones, 49 to 43%. The poll also found 71% of Alabama Republicans think the sexual misconduct allegations against Moore are false. An APD officer's incredible story of selflessness continues to get national attention this morning. As we first reported on Friday, Officer Ryan Holitz found Crystal Champ and her boyfriend using crystal meth behind a convenience store in September. Noticing she was pregnant, he decided to adopt the baby. When she was born, named her Hope. The story's been shared 139,000 times on CNN's Facebook page. New this morning, UNM is looking into expanding into Santa Fe with a brand new branch, but they wouldn't go at it alone. The Journal reports the university is vetting a Singapore-based for-profit education company called Raffles Education Corps. The university says it would not be a full campus, but there would be classes in partnership with other entities. They expect to have a recommendation by the end of the year. People will be able to board flights from Santa Fe to Phoenix through 2018. The once-a-day American Airlines flight into the Santa Fe Regional Airport and then back to Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport started a year ago. The Santa Fe New Mexican reports because of state grant money and private donors, they're going to be able to continue through next year. A ceremony to officially light the Angel Tree in Civic Plaza in honor of local kids who lost their lives to violence is scheduled for tomorrow. This is put on by City Councilor Ken Sanchez and the biker group Guardians of the Children. Sadly, this year 13 more ornaments have been added to the tree. Although organizers say their main goal is to celebrate these kids' lives, the project also aims to remind the public about the serious problem of violence against youth. New facts this morning suggest using electronic cigarettes could actually lead to real smoking among teen users. A study in the Journal of Pediatrics followed nearly 800 high school students over 3 years. It found the use of e-cigarettes was a significant predictor of which students would eventually smoke regular cigarettes. Kristen?
Today's Metro Threat Index only at a 2. We're talking breezy conditions at the west-northwest at about 10 to 20 miles per hour, but cooler temperatures, no sign of rain or snow in today's forecast. Adam?
Albuquerque Metro Crime Stoppers is offering a new way to submit anonymous tips about criminals this morning. This is through a mobile app. The organization has rolled out the P3 app for the iPhone and Android. Unlike the existing texting option, the app has no length restrictions, and it lets the tipster upload images, videos, and documents, all while ensuring anonymity. Tips by text and Crime Stoppers hotline are still available, though. CBS is preparing to buy Aetna this morning as part of a $69 billion deal. CVS Health Corp released a statement saying it'll pay cash and stock for the health insurer. The deal could generate a new stream of customers to CVS stores. Many of those stores now offer a growing menu of medical services. CVS says it wants to be more of a one-stop shop for health care. Apple has a fix in place this morning for customers who are frustrated over a new glitch. Another one. Phones all over the world started turning on and off on Saturday morning. Apple released an update to its iOS 11 operating system. The updated version is called iOS 11.2, and if your phone's still acting up, Apple says go to the settings, turn off your notifications, and manually install that update.
Time now for a check on your Monday morning commute. Not dealing with any major crashes out there this morning. Everything moving at posted speeds across the city, but we'll keep you updated throughout the morning.
Okay, how about this? This morning, what's become the most popular form of communication is officially 25 years old. On December 3rd, 1992, the first text was sent out by an engineer working with telecom giant Vodafone. A year later, Nokia introduced an SMS feature with a distinctive beep to signal an incoming text. Now, a quarter of a century later, engineers have modernized communication with a more popular form of texts called the emoji. But I think people still type, though. I mean, they still type words.
Yeah. It's just back then you had to do, like you hit 4 times for an S, and now with the iPhone, it's just like,
that's true. My
so
goodness,
easy.
I remember that.
I like it.
Time for the 5 facts.
We start with number 5. The New Mexico State Aggies are bowl-bound this morning for the first time in 57 years. This weekend, the Aggies beat South Alabama in a late-game thriller, 22-17. New Mexico State will now meet up with the Utah State Aggies on December 29th in the Arizona Bowl. New Mexico State played Utah State in their last bowl game back in 1960.
Rematch. Number 4, an Albuquerque woman's already looking ahead to next Christmas season this morning, considering not putting up her decorations. When she got home from work on Saturday night, Ashley Nguyen, who lives near University McMahon, found her yard decor in shambles. So she checked the surveillance video. She says she saw a pair of teens kicking and punching her Christmas display. The 2 vandals didn't take anything.
And number 3, looking at cooler temperatures across the area today. Albuquerque down to the upper 40s and low 50s. Sunshine for most of us with breezy to windy conditions. Even cooler temperatures as we get into midweek.
On to number 2 as the investigation into Trump campaign ties to Russia continues this morning. Many people are talking about a series of tweets from the president over the weekend. One of them suggesting the president knew that General Michael Flynn lied to the FBI before firing him. Some members of the Senate Judiciary Committee are suggesting that if he did know that, then asked then FBI Director James Comey to drop the investigation into Flynn, that might amount to obstruction of justice. CBS reports that sources say, though, the message was actually crafted by the president's lawyer, who did not intend to imply that. At number 1 this morning, the state attorney general's office is now questioning the University of New Mexico's internal investigation into its athletic department. This all stems from a story that News 13's Larry Barker broke on how then UNM athletic director Paul Krebs used public money for a golf trip to Scotland that then led to a state audit. In a letter obtained by KRQE, the Deputy Attorney General called out the interim president, Chowki Abdallah, accusing him of using public funds for an investigation that is now, quote, unreviewable by oversight entities such as the Board of Regents, the New Mexico Legislature, and the AG's office. The AG's office is now asking to meet with Abdallah to, quote, establish parameters for cooperation and participation for their review. But Abdallah told the Journal that the judge was contracted for a separate inquiry that deals with different issues.